Kakalosh Boker Tov. We're continuing with the halachot. Just to remember that Bezrat Hashem this afternoon, what we do is that we do mincha with tefillin, just like every normal Ta'anit Tzibur. Obviously, there's not going to be tachanunim because it's going to be Erev Purim, so there's no tachanunim. However, though, we do the Zechel Lemachatzita Shekel this afternoon. So the Zechel Lemachatzita Shekel is 10 grams of silver. So that this afternoon we come and we do it. Some people have the minhag of taking the half dollar coins. So that hopefully Bezrat Hashem will try to get for this afternoon, those $50 coins, right, in the Zechel Lemachatzita Shekel, right? And therefore what happens is that we come and we give the money and we say Zechel Lemachatzita Shekel. We have to be very, very careful that we're doing it as a Zechel and not as actually Machatzita Shekel. That's going to be very, very important. The next thing also is going to be to do with Matanot Levyonim. To do with Matanot Levyonim, right, we have the mitzvah of giving Matanot Levyonim. The Lechat Techila is to give it tomorrow morning, which means on Purim day in itself. However, though, if a person already wanted to give it today, and we are going to be distributing it on Purim in itself, so therefore they're able to do so. Remember that the Zech Lamatzita Shekel was going to be $8 per person, right? You will find that some places put $9, some places will put 8.5. It all depends on the actual currency to do with the 10 grams of silver, right? To do with Matanot Levyonim, since we explained yesterday that it's going to be two presents to two different people, so therefore it's going to be $10 for a meal. Maybe nowadays actually inflation would actually be even much more, right? But it's going to be minimum, we're talking about $20 per person, because with $20 per person you're going to be doing two different meals to two different people. So that's why it's going to be Matanot Levanim. We will be collecting it again. We're going to put it out for tonight, but the best thing is to give it tomorrow, and then we distribute it tomorrow as well, and that will be Bezrat Hashem here as well. To do with the other halachot, there is going to be Hanisim. So we do mention Hanisim in Birkat Hamazon. If a person forgets the Hanisim, right, and he remembers, right, after he already said Baruch Atah Hashem, he does not go back and he doesn't say Lamedeni Chukecha, but rather he finishes normally and then he puts it into the Rahmans. What does that mean? He says Rahmanu Yaseh Imanu Nesim Neflaot Keshem Shasita Voten Mimim Zemanzeh Bimem Mordechai Vester, and then he continues with the Hanisim over there. So he's not supposed to say the Hanisim after he finished Al Haaretz V'Hamazon before Rachem, because if not, it's considered a Hefsek. So that's very, very important, right? Another thing is that a person should also try to be Lechat Techila. He should say the Hanisim in Birkat Hamazon before Arvit. Remember that tomorrow morning, when we're talking about the Seudah, we always do mincha before the Seudah, because if not, then you're not going to be able to drink, right, wine. So what you do is you first do mincha, and then afterwards we start the Seudah. So mincha will be Bezrat Hashem there. I would calculate around, let's say, 2:15, maybe 2:30, depends what time that people are coming, but it's going to be there. There will be mincha. Now what happens is Arvit, this year is special, that since they changed the hour just this Motzei Shabbat to Erlak, so what happened is that now all of a sudden Arvit, the earliest you could do Arvit is 6:15, because that's the plug. So the Peleg Mincha is 6:15, so therefore we will be doing Arvit there in Temple Moses at 6:15, because that's the earliest to do it. Now you should do the Birkat Hamazon beforehand. Why? Because if you're going to say Arvit of Motzei Purim, and then you're going to come and you're going to say Birkat Hamazon, how are you going to say Hanisim? There's the usual machlok of poskim, do you say it, don't you say it? So because of that, what we do is that we make sure that we say Birkat Hamazon beforehand, and once you've said Birkat Hamazon, and you've said Hanisim, now you could come and you could say the Arvit, and there won't be any problem. So just to pay attention to those two things. Remember, again, we already mentioned the different halachot, whether it's of Matanot Levyonim and of the Mishloach Manot. Just very important also to do with the Megillah. To do with the Megillah, a person should be careful that they should have a Megillah in front of them. If they could have a kosher Megillah, all the better. But if not, then even without, but they're allowed to, because they could actually read it by heart. So therefore, which means they can't read the majority by heart, they could read the minority. So because of that, what could happen is that a person could come and focus pay attention to what's going on, right? And therefore, even if they're going to miss a word, they will come and they will be able to make it up, because even if they have a sefer in front of them, they don't even have a regular Megillah, they could say it, and it's considered that they said a Baal Peh, so they can make it up. However, though, it's very important that everyone keeps quiet, because if other people are going to hear you, and you are not having in mind to be Motzi Otam Yedei Chova, and they don't have mind that you're being Motzi Otam Yedei Chova, and then they are not hearing the Shliach Tzibur, so therefore it's very, very problematic. So therefore it's important that when they're listening to the Megillah, that if it is that somebody does want to read along in your mind, but don't read along out loud. Because if you're going to be reading along out loud, it's going to cause problems for the people around you, that they might be listening to you and not to the Shliach Tzibur, and therefore it's going to be a problem. So just to have these things in mind, there are obviously the psukim that we say out loud, because it all depends on minagim, right? The minagim that we have, that we say them out loud, and therefore just to pay attention to the Megillah, you're not allowed to talk from the beginning until the end. And remember that during the nighttime, when we say the Shechianu, we have in mind all the mitzvot of the day, because minhag Sfaradim is not to say Shechianu during the day, it's only a nighttime. Ashkenazim do say it. So therefore for us, when we say Shechianu during the nighttime, we have in mind the mitzvot, whether it's the Kriyat Megillah, the day of Purim, Mishloach Mano, Matan Elunim, everything is included in that Shechianu when we're going to be doing it during that nighttime as well.